and welcome to Deals with Heels, where female entrepreneurs thrive. I'm Deborah, your host. Welcome to the show. We have such a great guest this week. You guys are going to be super excited. She has a fantastic online marketing business with a very successful email list, and I am so excited for us to all learn all about her success and how she does it. Let me just get right to it. As CEO and founder of Tracy Beavers Coaching, Tracy has a proven track record in business growth with an award-winning career spanning 20 years. She has guided hundreds of entrepreneurs to grow their business visibility through organic marketing strategies. She is a public speaker and a published author. She's been featured by CBS Television, The Wall Street Journal, Vanity Fair Lingerie, and Kajabi. She is the creator of the top-ranked business podcast, Create Online Business Success. Please welcome Tracy Beavers to Deals with Heels. Welcome,
Thanks,
Tracy.
Deborah. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you as a guest. Your online stuff is so amazing. I am a big strategy person and I do a lot of implementation, but email marketing is something that I am always wanting to learn more and more about, because that first person list, that is so important to be able to get it and not be obnoxious about how you get it,
well,
right?
You know, list growth is so important. That's why I really started to dive into helping people increase their visibility so that they can grow their email list, because that's where we're going to convert people into buyers.
It definitely is. And I want to jump in and talk about all of that, but I want to start with letting you tell us a little bit about your journey so that the audience can kind of connect to you and your story and how you got to where you are.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. If you had told me 7 years ago that I was going to leave corporate America, I just would have told you were crazy, because, you and I are similar in age. I was raised in that generation where you go to high school and you graduate, you go to college, you graduate, you get the job, any job, you're happy with the job, and you suck it up even if you hate it, and you stay there 40 years, and then you get a gold watch, a pension, a retirement party, and a cake. Well, that isn't typical anymore. And so, fast forward through the first few years of my career, and companies started downsizing and right-sizing, and people were getting severance packages. And I was like, what is even happening? Nobody told me this was going to happen. They told me to go get the job and stay in the job, and then I could retire. And so that was my first taste of instability with a corporate job. And then fast forward through a few more toxic bosses and job description roles that just didn't feel like the right fit anymore. And I started wondering what else I could be doing. The final straw for me was I was in sales, business development, marketing, and sales. And I had worked for this title insurance company in business development, and I grew their market share 86% the first year I was there. And the CEO had the nerve to tell me he did not think I was going to be that successful, and he was going to change the commission structure to benefit the company. And I thought to myself, okay. Because I thought, I knew I didn't have any control over my time, because it's a corporate job. It's, 9 to 5, 1 hour lunch, only so much PTO, blah, blah, blah. But I thought, if I have a commission structure, logically, you could think I can make as much money as I want, right? No. Here's a guy basically telling me I can't. And I'm like, okay. So I finally and I realized I've said okay about 5 times. We should make that a drinking game. But I was like, all right, God is trying to tell me something here. What is it? And so through some really good friends and a women's mastermind that I was in, they helped me realize that I always thought sales was easy for everybody because it was easy for me. And they're like, no, it's not. People don't understand marketing. They don't understand business development. They don't understand sales like you do. You need to help businesses build. And so I became a business and sales coach. And I started here locally in my area with people that already knew me. They knew my track record. They'd watched me get millions in production for corporations. And so I started there, and I started building alongside my corporate job, which was really hard because at the time the kids were in high school and middle school and they played every sport it felt like that had a ball. And so then I had the corporate job and I had these two kids and,
And your laptop in the stadium at the baseball game.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Sounds like you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But thankfully, I was able to exit almost 2 years later. It took me a little bit, but I really wanted to build up some money in my business bank accounts and really get proof of concept before I completely, left that stable paycheck. But, it's been a great decision for me.
I love that story so much. And I think it partially because it resonates with me, but there's a lot of women out there living that corporate culture and even just a regular 9-to-5 job. Because let's face it, those days of having a big career are over. And if you're in a marketing department for a mid-sized business, that is the same as corporate world, but now they expect you to be able to do every single part of the marketing functions, and it's not possible. It's spread so thin. I was marketing director in big companies, so I can strategize and do pretty much every kind of marketing, but I'm not an expert at every single kind. And even the ones that I am an expert, and I'm always learning. Lifelong learning is part of my core values. It's why I love it so much. I bring on marketing, little new ideas that I'm like, I never even thought about positioning it that way. That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
But another thing I really liked is just the being geared towards sales. I think part of it was COVID and part of it is just the nature of video and social media. And there's a lot of content creators that are out there. And it's not that what they do isn't valuable, because it sure is, right? I don't want to go around making a bunch of content every day for those clients. It's very, very valuable. But oftentimes they are simply content creators, and a small business doesn't have the sales, marketing, strategy, knowledge that they need to guide the content creator on what to do. And so as a result, it becomes kind of muddled all together. I think to the standard business owner and entrepreneur, we all do the same thing. And understanding that those differences and how to focus on actually generating sales, which is the only key performance indicator that matters when it comes to results. Matters on whether or not your emails are getting opened and what we can do to switch it, or if they're clicking to your website and I got you 1 million clicks and you didn't get sales, well, we need to look at the funnel. I think it's more of a guide. But so I really want to get into how to sell. And one of the things that I really loved, because it's hard. I grew up in hustle culture. We're very similar age, where you hustle to get, especially in sales. We're hustling. We're out trying to out hustle the men that always have an advantage and all the things. But you use the phrase building with ease. And it is such a huge deal for women. We don't have to be hustling.
No.
I don't have to be at the desk at 8:30, even though my subconscious still thinks that I am not doing a good job if I'm not there, even though I might have been working on ads until 10 p.m. and I'm the damn boss. I don't have to be there at 8:30. That hustle culture gets so ingrained in us. So tell us about building with ease. Boy, do we all really need it.
Yeah, it's about standing in your confidence more than anything else. Knowing that you are the expert, and having confidence in your marketing messaging to know that you will attract an audience that wants to work with you. There was something in sales we used to say, you can smell commission breath a mile away. When somebody has commission breath, they're desperate. They're hustling. They don't have confidence that in their ability to sell, in their ability to close the deal. And so part of building with ease is that mindset and confidence piece, knowing that you are the expert and your perfect fit clients will be attracted to you and they will come to you. The other thing about building with ease is from a simplicity standpoint. So I believe in just keeping things simple. If there's a reason to get fancy pants with it later on, we can. But one of my mentors has said for so many years, and she's right, keep it simple and get fancy later. And so I help my clients and students understand that most of the time they'll come to me and they'll go, I need a new lead magnet. And I'm like, well, hold on. Do you need a new lead magnet, or what's going on with the one you've got? And they'll say, well, nobody wants it. It must not be very good. Nope, not necessarily. And you know this, Deborah. We have to look at all the pieces of the funnel. But this lead magnet that they think is not very good is actually great, but they're thinking it's got to have fireworks and sparklers attached to it in order for it to make it to be this great thing. And it doesn't.
No, all it has to do is get them to click and put their email address in there, or whatever it is that you're trying to get. That it's the same thing that I find that people, for example, will get very elaborate when they write the copy.
Yes.
It'll be
They're
super
too wordy,
descriptive and wordy. And I'm like, clean, to the point.
Right. Give me a hook. Don't be clever. Be clear. Get me in, get me out. Give me some bullet points. Give me some white space. Get to the point.
Even someone that's a thinker like me, or I've got the other attached personality that wants it right now, though. So I don't want to think about it for months at a time, but I need a lot of information. And even that person, they don't want all the information on the lead magnet or on the post. They want to get that at their convenience. They want to read it at their convenience. But the long copy and the description, like it's an Anne Rice novel. I don't need 3 pages to describe the wrought iron fence.
Right. Exactly.
It's such a big mistake that people make in just overall in their writing, their marketing copy, whether that's on paid ads, posting, emails. No one wants to read a bunch of adjectives and descriptions.
They really don't. Well, everybody is skimming. So they're skimming the social media posts. They're looking for the hook. They're looking for the meat. They're looking for the what's in it for them to pay attention to it. And the same goes for our emails. The most read parts of the email are the subject line and the PS, because the body of it just gets skimmed. So you have to just make sure that you're not, like you're saying, that you're not being overly wordy, that you are getting to the point. Otherwise, you're going to lose your audience. So yeah, that's part about building. That is definitely keeping it simple. And the other thing I teach with regard to ease and social media content is let's repurpose the heck out of your content. I teach my students to create one piece of regular weekly content, whether it's a live training or a podcast or a pre-recorded video. And then from that, we get everything else they need for the week, including their email to their audience. We get their social media posts. We get, if they want to do a podcast based off a live training, or they want to do a podcast first and then go live to talk about it, and then the email to the list. And so building this business does not have to be difficult.
I love that. I also made note when you were talking about that, the desperate sales. My audience is used to us talking about scarcity mindset, but that is what that is. That desperate. And we've all, I think a lot of people, if you've been around like realtors, for example, something happens and it's not just the fact that the people can't move in. Those realtors that maybe only sell a couple of houses a year, they are not seasoned, and losing a deal, the panic and I do sales coaching too. And that panic, like I can't let this prospect go. Yes, you can let that prospect go. That is not your prospect every time, without fail, that I forced it, that I dropped my price, that I compromised something to get business. I regretted it every time. And not because I made less money, not because of something that I gave away, but because I did not jive with that person. And they were problem. It was just a problem. And I should have listened to those nudges trying to tell us not to do it. I I like that you talk about growing your email list and it being both relevant to not just relevant to our business, but for me, relevant to our potential clients, right? That lead magnet, and even growing it without that. Talk to us a little bit about growing it, and not just growing it so that I got 10,000 names on it. I want those to be 10,000 people that are going to be my potential clients. So I'm, for example, business to business. So me blanking it with a bunch of consumer driven stuff isn't going to be appropriate for me, but is for somebody maybe with a retail store or a different kind of a business. How can we grow it and make sure that what we're getting is really relevant to the end goal?
Yeah. So we have to begin with the end in mind. When it comes to your lead magnets, you always have to think about your offer. What is the end thing that they're going to buy? What is the transformation you're going to give them? And then the lead magnet is based off of that, which gives you the quality list. Your free Facebook, if you want to have a free Facebook group like I do, that's a great lead magnet, but it's relevant to the offers that I have so that I know the members that are coming into my free Facebook group are my ideal clients. And just like you said, I agree with you completely. I'm not into vanity numbers. There was a time when I thought more was better. And, oh my gosh, it would be so great to have 10,000 people on my email list. Nope. Or 10,000 followers on Instagram. No. And I'll give you some really good examples of this. So my list, I have a business that generates well over 6 figures a year. I think I have maybe 3,800 followers on Instagram. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook, and I don't remember how many followers so far. And my Facebook group has around 3,300 online entrepreneurs in it. My email list hovers between 3,000 and 4,000. And I still have the income I have because my list is a quality list. So I would much rather have the right people on my list, the right people in the right seats in my Facebook group, the right people wanting to connect with me in the DMs, because I worked with a gal this past summer, and she was on Instagram. And I think now when we met, I think she was at 200,000 followers on Instagram. Now I think she's like 800,000. Then she started the YouTube channel and immediately grew it to, 10,000 subscribers, and it just continued to increase. Would it surprise you to know that she was making no money? Because most of those followers are not her ideal clients, and she wasn't building an email list. She wasn't sending them anywhere. She wasn't giving them a way to connect with her on a deeper level. Right. And so,
that's the thing. You don't make enough on content, folks, from just posting random stuff to 200,000 people. You don't make enough on content to monetize and make a living. You just don't. The real key is selling whatever it is that your products and services are. Whether that's coaching, whether that's marketing services, whether that's backpacks that you sew yourself, whatever it is, that is the biggest way to monetize your platforms. Not everybody's going to be an influencer. And if you don't like to sell and be salesy about your business that you love, then you're damn sure not going to like being an influencer and being passionate and putting all of that together for some stuff that you may or may not like, no matter how much you're convincing people, because authenticity is what sells.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that should ease a lot of people's minds, that it may seem like you aren't hitting the numbers that everyone else is. And if you're not getting engagement from all of those people on your list, then maybe clearing some of them out and making room for others is important too. And I say that I was a guest on another podcast, and they were talking about clearing out and making sure that you made room for like new friends on Facebook. Like you max out at 5,000, and I'm maxed out too. And they said that they do it from birthdays. I've tried to do it a little bit, and it seems like a slow method, but think about it's just going to take a year to get all the way through everyone. And it's not so intimidating to look and go, oh, I made it through a page. And then the next time you start, you're on the same page. You got to go through those same people to get to the next ones. But on the birthday page, everybody's going to come around.
Yep.
And if I don't know them and haven't interacted, I'll look at them and say, are they a prospect that I'm just not connecting with?
Yep.
Or are they just irrelevant? And I posted something funny, and so they friended, whatever reason it was. And I think that's a pretty good method of cleaning it out, because my Facebook is definitely my worst.
Yeah, no, I do that. So Facebook birthdays are a strategy that I use for visibility. So if you're on the Facebook birthday list and we're friends, you're going to get a DM from me that says, "Hey, Deborah, hope you had a great birthday." And it's going to bring you back around to be aware of me. We can reopen a conversation, potentially uncover some needs, maybe move you through the funnel a little deeper. Then I can also look and see, oh, do I really need to be friends with that person that I knew from high school? For me, my friends slots are going to be people that could be my ideal prospects for the most part. And I'll keep some spots open for dear friends and family members. But, if I haven't talked to you, like you're saying, and you're not an ideal prospect for me, I'm going to unfriend. But no, that's a great strategy. That way you can just do it a little bit every day.
Right. And not have to, and it reminds me to go in and connect. So when I started doing that, I started reconnecting and telling people happy birthday again. And I had kind of let that go because it felt daunting a little bit. So I'd grown so fast, so quickly that I hadn't really established a relationship with everybody that was in there. And I didn't want to lose the numbers. I was so thinking of it in my head in a different way.
Yeah.
And understanding now that, because no one really understands how all of the content works, right? I post every day and I don't get thousands and thousands of likes, but I get maybe 100, and I might make 87 cents. Right? I mean, I think people don't understand that. They think that posting all the time is going to make them money, and it just doesn't work that way. And your message gets washed out. The messages, for me, it's messages in my newsfeed from people that I really do want to connect with. I don't connect with them because I don't see them, because I've got it filled up with not just other friends that I'm not really connecting with, that aren't my prospects, but also the pages they've asked me to follow and that I did. And now I'm all inundated with content that is irrelevant. And so cleaning all of that out and simplifying it so that it matches your purpose and not the external, what everybody expects and judges your success by.
Right.
Boy, I love that a lot. Targeting and simplifying and getting it really down. You don't think about it in terms of that until you've tried and experienced. It's so exciting to qualify for monetization. I mean, I'm so cynical about it, just because until you've done it, you don't understand that it's consistent. You can have a video that gets 1 million likes, but you have to be consistent and have that day in and day out to actually make a living doing it.
Right.
And it's better to have content that's geared towards your business that actually is seen by people that are true prospects of your business.
Right.
I also, one of the things that I'm not very good at, and I never do, and that is try to connect through DMs with people intentionally. It's not that I don't connect with them. I do sometimes, but I don't make an intentional effort to prospect in my DMs, even though most of the people in there are people that I could do business with. How can I convert, and everyone else out there? What's a great strategy for doing that? Part of it, I think, is I got just so turned off by it on LinkedIn that I'm inundated with it. And when I do feel a connection to somebody, I mean, it doesn't last very long, and then I'm in their sales pitch. And I don't want to sell to you. I want to know you first. And then maybe we can refer business. And if it happens that I can get your business, then that's cherry. But I have not found an easy way for me to feel comfortable prospecting in DMs.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you have to offer. So, for me, it's easy to interact in the DMs with people that I've been in a networking session with. So if you and I were in the same virtual networking session today, or maybe we met locally at a Chamber of Commerce lunch or something, I'm going to go find you and I'm going to friend you. And then I'm going to send you a DM that says, hey, Deborah, it was so much fun to see you in the XYZ networking session today. I loved what you said about blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to offer a coffee chat just as a starting point, because I don't know if you could be a new client or a potential collaboration partner or a referral partner, or maybe an affiliate for me, or I'm an affiliate for you, but until we have that coffee chat. So that's a great opener, is just, if it's somebody that you've met, send them a DM. It's kind of like sending them a thank you note or a text message that says, hey, it was so great to see you today. And
Even
then you get on the
see
coffee.
them virtually too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
sure.
just as important. We meet so many people virtually these days.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For me, my free Facebook group is a great way to open up DM conversations. So because of the way I have my funnel set up, because of the way I have my personal profile set up, these are all strategies I teach for visibility and list growth, my free Facebook group grows by hundreds of people every single month that are joining my list. And 80% of them, I've not met them, and I've not personally invited them. They've gotten into my funnel through a free lead magnet. They've listened to my podcast. They have seen me in a virtual networking session or another free Facebook group. And because of the way I have my personal profile set up, they see my free group and they want to join it. And so when you join my free group, I'm going to DM you. That is like, I mean, I've got every reason to. Hey, Deborah, I'm so glad you joined my group. Welcome in. We let people promote anytime. You're welcome to set up coffee chats with the other members. And if I've got a free thing that you've asked for, I'm going to say that's on its way to your inbox. And then I'm going to open up the conversation with you to see where in the stage of my funnel you are. So there's some ways to do it. I am not a fan of sending somebody a friend request and then having a cold DM.
It's so awful. I don't know.
It's weird.
It is. And I can't imagine that it's very successful. I guess it could be,
no,
but
it's not for me. I'm like you. I stopped accepting LinkedIn connections for a long, long time because all I was getting was cold spammy DMs. And I'll just tell them, I'm sorry. I wish that you had taken the time to actually get to know me and build a relationship before you pitched me.
I love it when they say, I'd love to talk to see if you're interested in collaborating. Mm-hmm. And I would say, oh, collaborate, sure, which is code for let me try to sell you something. It's so annoying that they don't. To me, collaboration has nothing to do with me selling you something.
Right.
And everything to do with getting to know you and see how we can learn from each other, share referrals to each other, all of the things. And boy, so annoying.
Yeah.
Well, I think those are all really, really great tips. And tell us a little bit about how we can get in touch with you and learn about your coaching program, because how valuable, you guys, to be able to talk to somebody to grow your business the same that she has. And definitely a segment that we don't often have an expert in talking about, growing that email and coaching business through those individual groups. And we don't have enough time to learn everything there is. So how can our audience reach out to you or just learn more about what you have to offer?
Yeah, thank you. So I have two ways that they can get in contact with me, or at least get to know me better. One is my podcast. It's called Create Online Business Success. I tend to be a little bit of a goofball, and I make up words and I talk fast, but I think it's entertaining. I'm told that it is. And I also give actionable, practical strategies that you can use, because I am all about building with simplicity, with ease, and helping you grow that email list. So Create Online Business Success. And I've mentioned my free Facebook group a couple of times. It's pretty cool. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur. Get visible, grow your email list and your income. We have over 3,000 online entrepreneurs, and they love my group because they can promote their offers anytime. They are encouraged to connect, to have coffee chats, to have DM conversations. And that's what makes it different. It's a true community. But they can get to know me there as well.
And it's
And
free.
then for my coaching, I have an 8-week group coaching program that I launch 3 times a year. It's called Business Visibility Made Easy. It is the step-by-step system to creating an email list of your ideal clients without paid ads and without being told to create yet another free lead magnet. I've got over 10 strategies that I can teach you. I talked a high level on a few of them today, but we open the doors to that again in April. And so if you'll just connect with me on my podcast or my free group, you'll find out all about it.
I know you got to get on Tracy's email list to find out when it starts in April, and what great marketing, what a great lead magnet, expertly communicated, which I thought was really an important thing for them to hear, because see how she did that? Her lead magnet was so easy. You know, if you're not interested in it, don't sign up. But
Right.
It's about desire. Look, you can't get it every day. It only comes 4 times a year. So It's coming in April, and I love it. Perfect lead magnet and very well demonstrated. I'm definitely going to join her Facebook group and see what it's about. And I hope that you guys will too. Let's just end with what's your first best tip for getting your email opened?
Oh, that's a great question. So for email deliverability, first of all, try to find a way to get your audience to reply back. There's some really fun ways I've gotten my audience to reply back to me, which means that my emails are going to be more likely to be delivered to their inbox where I want them to find them. As I mentioned before, one of the most read parts of the email is the subject line. So a big tip I have is to put an emoji, a colorful emoji, as the first character of your subject line, because that's going to catch the eye in the inbox. And then have a subject line that's intriguing. You know, I was recently in Facebook jail. It was during my launch, and I was very frustrated. And some colleagues said, email your list, tell them you're in jail, tell them to send you a DM. That'll probably rework the algorithm where you'll get enough coming in that Facebook won't think you're a spammy bot, and it'll be okay. And I did. And I put 2 big flame emojis on the subject line, and I said, I am in jail. And do you know, the open rate on that thing went through the roof, and I had so many people DMing me that it did break me out of Facebook jail. So you've got to have a subject line that's, like, what is she talking about? One time I was interviewing a gal, one of my students is a retired art teacher, and she teaches people art in the online space now, but she can parallel park a big tractor. She used to work on a farm and is a horse trainer and all this other stuff. And so I always ask for my guests to give me a fun fact, and she said she could parallel park a backhoe or something. I don't know what it was. And so that's what I put in the subject line. She could parallel park a big rig tractor. And that thing people were like, what is she talking about?
Yes, I love that. Yeah. I love it so much.
You have to make it fun.
Great advice. Thank you so much for coming on, Tracy. You're such a great guest. Everyone, please check out her podcast and all of her Facebook stuff. It will be linked in show notes. And as usual, you can find all of my stuff in show notes and a link to my free ebook, 5 Steps to a Successful Mindset. And with that, we're out of time. So everyone, we will see you next week.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, so grateful to have you on the show. Fantastic. Thanks.